Hi, this is Mike Darda with Compass and the Darda Group. Thank you for checking out our market update for the month of November 2022. So let's go ahead and dive right into the sales report here for the Lee County area. We're going to specifically look at Fort Myers and Cape Coral. And the first thing we're going to look at is the active home report. And what this is going to do is it's going to show us how many homes are actually available for sale at the end of October, and you'll see here that I'll circle that for you in red. So currently there are 1,291 single-family properties in Cape Coral that are listed for sale in the multiple listing service. If you go back 1 year ago, we had 561 properties for sale. So year over year, our inventory is up by about 2.3 times. However, since Hurricane Ian, we've really started to see our inventory drop. We had 1,436 homes for sale on the market just before the storm, and we've seen now a drop of 10% inventory in Cape Coral since the storm. In Fort Myers, we currently have 313 single-family homes for sale. If you go back a year ago, we had 181 properties for sale, so it's almost double now. And if we go back before the storm, there were 376 properties on the market the week before the storm, and we've seen a 16% drop in inventory in Fort Myers since Hurricane Ian. The next thing to look at is our homes sold report, and what this does is it gives you an idea how many homes actually sold and closed escrow, where the sellers actually got their money and they've moved. So if you go back in the month in October, there was 204 properties in Cape Coral and 136 in Fort Myers that closed escrow. If you go back a year ago, there was 583 properties in Cape Coral and 226 in Fort Myers that closed escrow. Prior to the storm in September, we saw 409 properties in Cape Coral and 153 in Fort Myers close. So what all this means is the drop we're seeing is mostly storm related. Also, prior to the storm, sales were roughly 25% off from a year ago. So what's happening now is, of course, the interest rates are going up, which we're going to talk about in a minute, and the impact that rates going up is having on affordability, which is pushing the sales volume down before the storm. So if you guys are wondering what's happening in the market, it's largely a result of higher interest rates, which brings me to the next topic. If you haven't been paying attention, you might be kind of alarmed by the numbers I'm going to share with you on the 30-year mortgage rate. It's currently a little above 7% nationally, and so that's obviously a lot higher. It's more than double what it was a year ago at the same time. And for every 1% that mortgage rates increase, it has an impact on the buyer's purchasing power by up to 10%. So we now see that rates are 3.5% higher than they were a year ago, which really can technically translate into an impact of about 35% on the purchasing power for that same borrower. So here we're seeing this show up again and again in today's marketplace. So let's talk now about the big variable in this market versus the rest of the country, and that is the impact of Hurricane Ian. Per the Red Cross, Ian has destroyed or caused major damage to more than 12,000 Florida homes, and this number is expected to increase as residential assessments continue. So you can see on the screen that per Forbes, home price appreciation typically bounces back better a year after major hurricane for the affected areas. So what that means is it'll be interesting for us to see if the same effect happens in our market, and we have reason to believe it will, because we're already starting to see lower inventory, and we're already starting to see pending sales. That's the number of homes that are going under contract with buyers, returning to near normal levels just before the storm. That's an indication that we may be getting the same effect here with a bounce back in our market and a bounce back in our appreciation. The last thing I want to talk about is kind of interesting. It's an opportunity in the market we haven't discussed in 20 years. I'm not sure I've ever shared this before on these videos, but right now, if you have an FHA loan or a VA loan, one of those attractive elements to those two loan products that those loans are assumable. Now you have to qualify to assume them, but that means if you're selling a home right now and you find a buyer who wants to purchase it, if they're able to make the down payment to pay the difference between what the home is worth and what your loan amount is, and if the buyer can make that down payment plus any fees associated with making the sale take place, if that's possible, you could allow that buyer to actually assume your existing FHA or VA loan. So why is that attractive? Well, if you got an FHA or VA loan when the rates were at 3% or 3.5% or 4%, maybe even 4.5%, you know that today we are seeing over 7% interest rates. So that's going to be a very attractive thing for a buyer to do, is to save all that money on the interest. This is also an opportunity for you if you have to sell a home and you have an FHA, VA loan. It'll make your home that much more attractive in the marketplace. So make sure you talk to your real estate professional about how to present that information in a way to make your home more attractive in today's market. So in any case, if you guys have any other questions regarding the market here in Lee County, what to expect with our market moving forward as we progress into season and through this process of the storm, we're here to help. I want to thank you all again for taking the time today, and we'll talk to you again soon. Thanks for watching.